Good morning,
They
everyone.
had it
I
yesterday
hope
too.
you're all doing well.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Helen. I hope you're well.
I am. I hope you're doing well too.
Thank you. Yes.
When you're ready, we're gonna start with position 25.
25, I'm ready. Good morning.
And Judge, that is going to be a negotiated plea.
Okay. And this is Mr. Van Meter. Is that correct? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Van Meter. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Van Meter. Thank you. Morning, Mr. Walker.
Good morning, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is going to be 12 months to serve, 308 days, credit for time served, 254 days. So the defendant has served sufficient time. Balance is spent with a stay away at the incident location, and I will give you that in about 3 seconds. Just one moment.
Okay.
My Odyssey has frozen.
While you get that, Mr. Walker, I'll just go to Ms. Helen.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, we do agree that this is a time served, balance suspended offer. I've spoken to Mr. Van Meter. He agrees to stay away from the address. I have it as a 2096. I'll have the full address here in a sec. 2096 Metropolitan Parkway, Southwest Atlanta. He agrees to not go back there, Judge. So we do accept this plea for Mr. Van Meter, and we stipulate to the factual basis, venue and ID.
Mr. Van Meter, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008262G, you wish to plead guilty to 2 counts of simple assault and 1 count of criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, sir. Thank you.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury and that by pleading guilty, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury.
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Van Meter. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You have a good day. Merry Christmas.
To you also. Who do we have next? Okay, who do we have? Courtroom 2's on mute.
Good morning, Your Honor. He is
Morning.
plea number 2, Mr. Beasley.
Mr. Beasley, is that position 2? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay, thank you, Mr. McLean. What is your announcement?
negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Beasley. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Dillingham, is this your case?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Our recommendation today is 12 months to serve, 278 days. Time has been served, credit for time has been served for 139 days, which is sufficient time. So balance is suspended. The case before this court, Your Honor, was the defendant went to a Circle K at 1328 Peachtree Street, and he trespassed and threw a rock at the window, causing it to break. And for that reason, we would also ask for a stay away order from the Circle K at 1328 Peachtree Street.
Ms. McLean?
Certainly, he agrees to all those terms, Your Honor, and asks the court to accept this negotiated plea of guilty.
Mr. Beasley, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008256G, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Beasley.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Position 3, Bridges.
Same announcement, Your Honor.
Okay.
No. You good? I'm done. Address.
Let me know when he's ready, Mr. McLean.
Oh, Your Honor, he's just putting his contact information. I told him last night to be ready, so he's ready now.
Okay, I just want to pay attention.
Yeah, that's good enough. Thank you. Let's go ahead.
You told everybody.
I did.
You lied.
I did.
Now, this is position both 3 and 4.
Okay, thank you. And they are both negotiated pleas.
They are. When you look up, who's ready for you? That's at the end of the exit. Yeah. Ready, Your Honor. Sorry for the delay.
And you're going to stipulate to the facts, venue, and ID. Is that right, Mr. McLean?
We do so stipulate the facts, venue, and ID, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Dillingham, you don't have to go through that recitation. Good morning, Mr. Bridges. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Ms. Dillingham?
Yes, Your Honor, the recommendation is 12 months to serve 54 days, credit for time served 27 days, which is sufficient, balance probated. Because this defendant has 3 prior theft convictions, we recommend an anti-theft course. And in addition, no further contact with the victim in this case, Anthony Tarvin, and a stay away order from the Quick Trip at 7975 Sonoya Road.
7975.
Say the address for me again, Ms. Dillingham, please.
7975 Sonoya Road, SENOIA.
Thank you. And position 4?
This is also for position 4, Your Honor. So it will be the 12 months to serve, 54 days credit for time served, 27 days balance probated.
Okay,
And
thank you.
of course.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Right, I think we just need to make sure it's the same address or 2 different addresses. And I explained to him that although both negotiations involve a theft course, that there would be 1 theft course. And we discussed that fully. Thank you.
Okay. Did you get those addresses?
It's the same.
Same address.
Oh, they're both the same address, is that correct?
This is the same.
They're both the same address on both positions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good.
Very good. Now, in addition, Your Honor, I would need, because he will take the theft course that may cost anywhere from, I don't know, $150 to $200 probably. I would ask for a break for him financially so he can get his finances in order to pay for that class. He knows where to go to take it.
Okay, very good. Ms. Grace, did you have a question?
Position 4 is going to run concurrent with 3.
That's correct. All right, Mr. Bridges, it's my understanding in case 21 CR 004367E, you wish to plead guilty to theft by conversion, and in case 21 CR 004370E, you wish to plead guilty to theft by conversion. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept your guilty pleas as negotiated, Mr. Bridges. I am going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And does the state have any objection to the probation terminating when he's completed the terms of the probation?
No, Your
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And once you complete the terms, Mr. Bridges, the probation will terminate. So the quicker you get this theft class done, the quicker you won't be on probation anymore, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. I always make it for the thing.
Position 1, Ortiz.
What's your announcement on position 1?
As
Mr.
of yesterday, Your Honor, our announcement was hold for announcement because he was going to make up his mind whether that was a guilty or not guilty. He was fully informed and discussed fully both options. What is your choice today, sir? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Okay. Do you feel you fully understand the ramifications of the guilty plea?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, you're going to need to speak up for all of us.
I definitely agree. I'm guilty.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. McLean. Mr. Artist, Judge Eric Morrow, this is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
No.
Well, that does today for you, Mr. Artist. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Okay.
Hold on, Mr. Artist.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Court has another notion here.
Okay, so if you don't want to have this done by video, you're going to be sitting in there for a while. You have a plea that's going to get you out of custody today. This is how we're doing this because we want to help control the spread of the virus. So we're trying to protect everyone as we go forward and get these hearings done. So you can sit there until we can have someone come to the jail at some point, or you can agree that you want to get this done today and do this over video. I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to get this done today, but if that's your choice, then it's your choice.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to do this over video today so that we can process you out?
Yeah, we can do it.
All right, so thank you, sir. Now raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Artist. Thank you, sir. Ms. Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor, we recommend 12 months to serve, 4 days, credit for time served 2 days, balance suspended. The time served has been sufficient. In this case, this defendant convicted trespass at Lenox Mall at 3393 Peachtree Road. He has 3 prior arrests at Lenox Mall. So for that reason, we are asking for a stay away order from Lenox Mall.
Thank you. Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, he and I fully discussed this case yesterday, and he understands that if he offers his guilty plea today, and if the court accepts it, that he is promising the court to stay away from Lenox Mall.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
I got a question.
He has a question, Your Honor.
How do I get my property?
I'm gonna allow you to go with law enforcement on one occasion, back to the location, to retrieve any belongings that you might have there, okay? So
Okay.
you'll be able to get your things back. You just have to go with law enforcement. Okay, any other questions before I take your plea, Mr. Artis?
That's cool, yeah.
Okay, that's clear. Okay, so it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 002121F, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by Mr. McLean. Are you satisfied with his services?
Yeah, definitely satisfied.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
All right, so I'm going to accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Artis. And although you're supposed to stay away from Lenox Mall, you can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to get your belongings, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Artis.
All right, thank you.
You have a happy holiday, sir.
You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Happy holiday. Happy holiday.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Position 7, Cameron.
That also is a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, in light of some new evidence, we are going to have to withdraw that offer.
He's already accepted it, actually.
Okay, let me hear the matter. Let's see, Mr. Cameron, good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Harrison, good morning. Are you with me, Ms. Harrison? Good morning. We're on position 7, Mr. Cameron. Do you have his history there?
Has 11 cycles, last arrest January of this year for simple battery, family violence in Fulton County. That is an open case. It's 22 CR 000741J. Also, open probation in Fulton County for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of firearm by a convicted felon. 20 SC 176579, sentenced October of 2020, 1 year confinement, 9 years probation. I show a 2009 theft by taking, aggravated assault, and a 2016 aggravated assault. Nothing further.
Thank you. Those last two, were those convictions?
Yes.
All right, let's see, Ms. Dillingham, what was the additional information that you say you didn't have?
Yes, Your Honor, this defendant was out on bond with the conditions of no further contact to the victim, Krishan White, as well as a stay away order from her address 259 Etheridge Drive Northwest after he punched her in the face on August 7th, 2021. In this current case, which happened on July 31st, 2022, he violated that stay away order and no further contact order and kicked her door in at that address 2591 Etheridge Drive Northwest and dragged her out of the closet. She was able to escape and ask a neighbor for help. This victim, Miss White, is in fear for her life with this defendant. As mentioned, he was convicted of aggravated assault against her in 2019, and that was aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So we are aware that he has access to guns, as that gun in that case was pointed at her in front of her daughter.
When did these new allegations allegedly occur, Ms. Dillingham?
So the new allegation, so this bond was ordered by Judge Law in January of this year. And then this incident occurred 7 months later, Your Honor, in violation of the conditions of that bond. That case is still open.
Okay. And why wouldn't you handle the open, is the open simple battery family violence, that's here in state court also, obviously?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And how is it that you all didn't know about that, given that it's open prior to making these, this recommendation?
Your Honor, it wasn't that we didn't know about it. After speaking with the victim and confirming a few details, that is the reason why we rescinded our offer. And as you know, the state can rescind its offer if we feel like it's appropriate. So that's the decision that we made. If counsel wants to do a non-negotiated plea, we can. If we want to resit the matter and put both of the cases on another calendar, that's an option as well. But we have rescinded our offer and do have a new offer today.
Okay, I would think that Mr. McLean, that he preferred to deal with all of these at the same time.
There's certainly a benefit to that, Your Honor.
So would you like to reset him until next Tuesday?
Well, I think the prosecutor is saying that they can get on the phone with me right now. I don't have one other case left. I have other colleagues here who have other cases.
That's not what I was saying, but I would be glad to take a phone call and we can pre-try it during court today.
Okay. All right. So if you all can work that out, we can move forward today. If not, we'll reset it until next Tuesday and hear it. That's agreed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Should I call Mr. McLean or is he going to call me?
If you would call on, I believe it's 2-2392.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. So we'll be back with you, Mr. Cameron.
Position 14.
Okay, who's representing Mr. Jackson?
Conflict.
That's my case, Judge. Is that Christopher Jackson?
It is, Mr. Murphy. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
What are we going to do with Mr. Jackson today?
Judge, he has a hold for felony probation. I spoke to Mr. Jackson about this, and I don't think we can take any plea today on this.
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and arraign him, or do you want to file a written waiver?
I can file written waiver. I have to be down there at 2 o'clock for another matter, so I'll file one then.
Okay, all right. As such, we don't need Mr. Jackson this morning. Do we need to just put him on for further notice?
Yes, Judge, at this point. And then if I'd spoken to his girlfriend and who said that she had reached out to the probation officer. I actually had spoken to another one and it did not appear that he was going to be calendared anytime soon with that. So,
okay.
So that would be accordingly, Judge, the way we would want to proceed. And I'll have that waiver filed today.
Okay, thank you. So we don't need Mr. Jackson this morning. Do you have any more cases on our calendar, Mr. Murphy?
I do not, Judge. I do not.
All right. If I don't see you, happy holidays.
You too, Judge. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Reset for the next correction.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, thank you. Who do we have next?
Position 15, Mr. Johnson.
I have that Mr. Johnson has a private attorney, Mr. Butterfield. Is Mr. Butterfield on the line with us?
He's not here yet, Judge, but he did say he had a conflict this morning.
Okay.
He had an ALS hearing that he had to appear at with one of his clients, but he was asking if we could hold for his announcement.
Okay, so position 15, Mr. Johnson, we're gonna have to hold for the announcement of the attorney. He's not with us yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll be back with you, Mr. Johnson. Who do we have next?
Position 16, Jordan.
He's in the same position. He has a private attorney, Miss Challenger. Is Miss Challenger on the line with us? She also needed us to hold for her announcement this morning, so we'll have to go to someone else and come back to Mr. Jordan until counsel appears.
Position number 22, Stevens.
22, okay. This is Richard Stevens, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Stevens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I don't swear, Your Honor, but I'll tell the truth.
Okay, you affirm then, okay? Is that all right?
All right.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Stevens. Let's see, Ms. Helen, it's my understanding this is going to be a plea, is that right?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor, the state's offer is going to be 17 days time served, balance suspended with the condition of remaining compliant with any active MARTA suspensions.
Ms. Helen?
And Judge, that is our understanding of that plea. We do accept that plea, and we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Okay, Mr. Stevens, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 0081638, you wish to plead guilty to fair evasion and criminal trespass. Isn't that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept your pleas as negotiated, Mr. Stevens. Good luck to you, sir. Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too, sir.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
Position 20, Oglesby.
Also a negotiated plea, Ms. Helen?
That's correct, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Oglesby. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Abdullah, is this your case?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You can proceed.
The state is recommending 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended, a stay away from 764 South Grand Avenue Northwest. And I think initially the judge gave a bond with the no further contact. I believe we may have gotten the victim wrong. I think the victim and the co-defendant were switched. So we're asking for a no further contact from a Clifton Vessel, last name VASSELL. And we can take the no further contact away from Sandra Lowe. That's the co-defendant in the case.
Okay. Any problems with that, Ms. Helen?
No, Judge, what we had was Clifton Vassal. I believe it's pretty much to stay away from the location and the owner of that location, Judge.
Okay.
So Judge, we do agree with that. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Oglesby, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 0081660B, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir, I'm not.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Very much so.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir, I do.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir, they haven't.
I will accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Oglesby. Good luck to you, sir. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Position number 24, Turner.
And this is just going to be an arraignment?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
I apologize, Judge. 24 is a negotiated plea.
Can you?
Oh, I apologize. Is this Mr. Quintavious Turner? I'm looking at my notes, Judge.
Yes, it is.
It is an arraignment, so you're correct, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Turner, good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Turner. You've been charged in case 22 CR 008257F with criminal damage to property in the second degree. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Ms. Helen?
I do, Judge.
How do you plead, Mr. Turner? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
You will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Good luck to you, Mr. Turner.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Position 21, Redwick.
Good morning, Mr. Redwick. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Excuse me, Mr. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor. I know that defense has this down as a negotiated plea, but because they're asking for a NOLO, it will be a non-negotiated plea. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, balance probated, 240 hours community service, risk reduction, alcohol and drug evaluation, $1,000 fine, and a victim impact panel on February 1st of this year, I believe. I'm sorry, I believe that's the previous DUI, but in this incident on South Fulton, PD responded to a non-responsive individual in a vehicle. Upon making contact with the vehicle that identified the defendant, he was in fact non-responsive behind the wheel with the vehicle running. At that time, Grady was dispatched to the scene and he was transported to the hospital. Open containers of alcohol were located in the vehicle. Like I said, earlier this year, he was charged and arrested with DUI and possession of meth. The DUI was dismissed, but he did plead guilty to possession of meth. And that was February 1st of this year. So due to his previous DUI and drug history, the state is objecting to a NOLO to this DUI that's in front of the court this morning.
Has he ever been convicted of a DUI?
No,
before?
the DUI was dismissed, and that's probably because he pled guilty to the felony drug possession charge, which was possession of methamphetamine.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, we are agreeing to all of the other terms of the DUI, Judge. We're asking for this court to allow Mr. Jason Redwick to use his NOLO plea if he hasn't used it in the last 5 years.
And you're telling me that he's never pled NOLO or guilty to DUI before?
That's my understanding. Again, he was arrested on the DUI and then felony
Right.
drug charges and pled out to the felony drug charges.
Okay.
And so I do hear that the DUI dismissed, but again, Judge, I don't hear that he pled guilty to any DUI. So we are asking for him to be able to use his NOLO plea for this case, Judge.
Okay. Anything further from counsel?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna allow him to use the NOLO. Mr. Redwick, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008162H, you wish to plead NOLO to driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe,
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
in possession of an open alcohol container. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Very much so.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and by pleading NOLO to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead NOLO?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept the NOLO plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Redwick.
Thank you.
And Judge, it is a probated sentence. We are asking for those probation fees to be waived. He'll be on probation for that full year for this charge, Judge. So we are asking for those probation fees to be waived.
I'm not going to rate the fees in this matter, given the NOLO and the other things that I've heard. Thank you.
And Your Honor, sorry, but just to clarify, can we have the paperwork indicate that it's non-negotiated since the state did not agree to the NOLO?
Of course, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do we have next?
Position 23.
And I know that's put down as a non-negotiated plea. That'll be a negotiated plea this morning.
Okay, thank you. And good, and this is Mr. Stubblefield. Can you hear me, sir?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Mr. Walker?
State's recommendation is going to be 12 months to serve 34 days, credit for time served 17 days, balance suspended with the conditions of a stay away of 2115 Monroe Drive.
And Judge, I went and talked to Mr. Stubblefield. That's exactly what we were going to ask the court for here today. So I do believe Mr. Stubblefield would agree with that, Judge. And we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Okay, so you've taken off the anti-theft class in the community service. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, and that's what you agreed to, Mr. Stubblefield?
Yes, Your
Okay, very good. It's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008-127C, Mr. Stubblefield, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and unlawful to possess, display, or use any false, fraudulent, altered identification document. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
You'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Stubblefield.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Position 26, Williams.
Let's see. Good morning, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Williams. You can put your hand down, sir. Mr. Williams, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We have made available for you today for legal advice, the public defender's office. It's my understanding that you do not wish to use the public defender's office, but you wish to proceed pro se this morning.
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you tell me why you don't wish to use their services?
Well, I didn't have an opportunity to speak during the pretrial, and it was a matter totally unexpected. So I was willing to plead with an explanation. I'm not familiar with the exact procedure of.
Okay, so and so I'm still willing to allow you. A lot of times, Mr. Williams, you'll want to give an explanation for something that might not be in your best interest. You have solicitors here that are taking down everything that you say, and there's a possibility that you could say something that might change their minds as far as what offer they've given you. You have an offer right now that is a time served offer, but I am still willing to allow you, and I encourage you to speak with the public defender and to let them advise you on this charge, because they may be able to help you with it. Are you willing to do that for the court this morning?
With or without the time served?
Oh, and that's the recommendation.
Of the, public defender.
Okay, well, that's the recommendation of the solicitor, but I would encourage you to use the public defenders this morning to represent you in this matter. I'll give them the opportunity to speak with you, and we can come back with you if you'll allow the court to do that.
Let's do that.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Miss Helen, was this your case initially?
It was, Judge.
Okay, can I get you to speak with Mr. Williams this morning, and we will move on to someone else while you, and he does, it's my understanding that he does have a time served, balance suspended offer from the state.
He sure
Correct,
does.
Your Honor.
And I'll go ahead and speak to him right now about that.
Thank you, Ms. Helen. I just don't want to, I want him to be represented. Okay, so do we have any cases that are not Ms. Helen's cases right now?
Yes, position 9, Mr. Dyer.
And this is going to be a negotiated plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Angela Dotis from the Public Defender's Office.
Good morning, Mr. Does.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Dyer. I am Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear upon the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Dillingham?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, we are recommending 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, time served is insufficient, and balance is suspended.
Okay, and are these three charges, Ms. Dillingham, obstruction, obstructing highway and pedestrian and roadway?
Yes, Your Honor, this occurred when the defendant was found by officers in the middle of the road asking passing motorists for money when they drove by. And when they asked him for his ID, he declined to give it to them and resisted being detained.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Does?
Yes, Judge. I've had the opportunity to speak with my client yesterday, and we accept the offer provided by the state and stipulate to the factual basis of any of an ID.
Mr. Dyer, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008159C, you wish to plead guilty to willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer obstructing a highway, a street, sidewalk, or other public passage, and pedestrian and roadway. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
Yes, sir.
Represented by counsel, are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Dyer. Good luck to you, sir. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Mr. Dyer.
Position 12, Holmes.
This is also a negotiated plea.
Yes, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Ms. Dillingham?
And this is my case.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is Muhammad Abdullah on behalf of the state.
Okay, you can proceed.
At this time, we're asking for 12 months, 40 days to serve, credit for time served, 20 days, balance probated, 8 weeks anger management, comply with MARTA suspension, no further contact with the victim, Xylon Boyd, and the witness, Tuala Cooper.
Yes, Mr. Does.
Yes, Judge, I did have an opportunity to speak with my client yesterday about this case and the offer. We accept the offer and stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID. We would ask for the probation fees to be waived. And if the state is in agreement for the, once the conditions are satisfied, for probation to be terminated.
I'll let it go to a non-reporting status, Mr. Doze. Any objection?
There's no objection to the probation fees. However, we do object to to probation being suspended upon completion. We'd like him to serve the full term, 12 months. He has several violent convictions in the past. So this isn't his first battery. He has several assaults dating back to 2011. The latest, he still has an open case for assault on emergency personnel out of Texas from 2020. So we would object to the balance, the probation being suspended.
Okay, and do you also have an objection to it going non-reporting? He'll still be on probation, but once he completes the terms, it'll be non-reporting.
No, we also object to that. We want him to serve the full probation for the full 12 months.
Okay, I am going to waive the fees, Mr. Doze, but he'll have to serve the entire 12 months, okay?
One moment, Judge. Yes, Judge, we understand.
Okay, very good. Mr. Holmes, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008133G, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, yeah.
Say it again.
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty? You're giving your plea is free and voluntary of your own free will. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Holmes. I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet, but you'll have to be on probation for the entire time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Butterfield, I see you there in your request. Your request is to speak to your client this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Your Honor. Tora Butterfield, this is my first appearance before this honorable court. I would like to speak with Mr. Johnson about the offer that the state has made on this matter.
Okay, yes. Good morning, Mr. Butterfield. Let's see. Where is, I don't believe that he was in the main session. Do we know where? And tell me your client's name again.
His name is Terrence Johnson, Your Honor. I'm not sure of his position on the calendar.
He's position number 15. So
right. Thank you, Judge.
He's going to be on the floor, Judge. 5 North. That's going to be the roving officers.
okay, so if you can let them know that his attorney wants to speak with him at some point, and we can put them in a breakout room, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. We'll be with you, Mr. Butterfield.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Going back to position 26, Williams.
And Judge, that'll be a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Okay. I've already gone through the preliminaries with Mr. Williams. He is still under oath. As such, whose case?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's my case, position 26. The offer is 12 months to serve, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, balance suspended. The conditions of a stay away of 398 Parkway Drive Northeast, which is Bedford Pines apartment buildings. And I believe that shouldn't be an issue because I believe they're currently tearing those apartments down.
Okay.
And Judge, I have spoken with Mr. Williams. He understands that there is a stay away from that location, that he can't go back, Judge. So we do agree to the time served, balance suspended offer, and we stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Williams, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008167C, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, I have.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I understand.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Williams. Good luck to you. Happy holidays, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
We have position 13, Mr. Hughes.
Okay, Angela. Can you read that for me? They call position 13.
Apologies, Judge. If we could circle back to position 13.
Okay, so the council is asking that we come back to Mr. Hughes. So is there someone else we can go to?
Is position 16, Attorney Challenger available, Judge?
Position 15,
No, 16.
16. I have not seen her come on yet. Ms. Challenger, have you joined the call? Doesn't appear that she has.
Okay, the rest of the cases I have is McLean and he's talking to his clients.
Okay,
So I apologize, Judge, for position 13. Was that Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Is it possible that
Yes.
we'll have a breakout session if they're on the floor with the jail iPhone? We'd like to just try to have a breakout session here for Mr. Hughes.
okay, breakout session there. So,
He was just on the screen, Judge.
right, are you still there with Mr. Hughes?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, so can we put Mr. Hughes and courtroom 2, I guess? Is that what you're asking, to put you
Yes,
all in the
Judge.
breakout room? Okay, so if we can do that, and I guess while you all are doing that, we will be in recess. Okay, we're in recess until council returns. Okay, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge. Thank you for that.
That's no problem. And so where are we?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Hughes will be pleading not guilty, and we'd like to waive arraignment and go forward with a bond hearing.
So you're gonna file a formal waiver, Mr. Doze?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And let's see, is Mr. Hughes back on the line? Oh, there he goes. Miss Harrison, can you tell me the history, please?
One moment.
Who, me?
Judge.
Yeah, hold on, Mr. Hughes.
37 cycles. Last arrest was June of this year. Failure to appear, underlying charges not indicated, Polk County, Georgia. I have a 2016 misdemeanor conviction in Cherokee County for giving false name.
Sorry, Judge, could Ms. Harrison speak a little louder? We're having a hard time hearing her in courtroom too.
Sure. I have a 2004 theft of services and criminal trespass in Cobb County. Other convictions outside the 10-year period, Judge.
So he hasn't had anything since 2016 except for a failure to appear?
That's what the GCIC reflects.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Ms. Harrison. I have that Mr. Hughes was given a $2,000 good bond on November 16th. And what are the changed circumstances, Mr. Doze?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Hughes is a lifelong resident of Georgia. He's currently experiencing issues with housing, but I am gonna have a social worker set up everything with Gateway so we can get him the help that he needs. And we're just asking for a signature bond to get Mr. Hughes out and further assist him in getting back on track.
All right. Mr. Abdullah?
Your Honor, the state objects to a signature bond. We ask that the bond remain the same. The defendant has almost 12 arrests for criminal trespass dating back to 1989 and as early as 2022. The facts of this current case is that he returns to the hotel at 239 Ivan Allen Jr. Boulevard. He's been asked to leave the location several times. The police have not been able to arrest him on a criminal trespass because he always leaves before they get there. However, on this particular day, when the officers did ask him to leave, he became irate and screamed that he would just continue to come back. So the state just wants to make it clear to the defendant that we understand that he's dealing with some housing issues and we do want him to get the help, but he's not allowed to go back to that address and he's not allowed to criminal trespass after he's been asked to leave.
Yes, Judge, if I may respond to that.
Of course, go ahead.
Yes, just Mr. Hughes has been in jail 36 days on these charges, and as we heard, he's had no other charges since 2016. I didn't hear any FTAs since 2016. I didn't hear any violations of probation. We're going to do our best to give him assistance with housing, so this isn't an issue moving forward.
Well, he has two FTA warrants, one currently out of Rome, Georgia, and the other one out of Dalton.
Okay, and I imagine that's because of his circumstances. Mr. Hughes, can jail courts, can you, iPhone, can you unmute, please?
What?
Mr. Hughes,
Yes,
if I let you out, you can't go back to that Marriott hotel. You understand me?
I want to know why though.
Well, because they don't want you there, okay?
Well, listen, it's a royal hotel, and I'm on a royal team.
Okay,
Mr. Hughes,
that's fine.
I believe it's my.
Hold on, Mr. Hughes. Hold on, Mr. Hughes. I want to see him back next. I'm not going to change the bond right now, but I do want to have a social worker visit with him to see if there is anything more that we need to do before we move forward.
Right.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. I'm being told that there was an eval order that
November, but we don't.
they didn't put it on the bond sheet if it was that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on the calendar for next Tuesday for me. I'd like to have a social worker visit. I think that there may be some other issues here, and possibly that he was supposed to have an MHE at some point in time. But I'll take the recommendation of the social worker. Okay, Mr. Doze?
yes, thank you, Judge.
Yes, and I just don't want to put him back on the street and for him to get into to more difficulty, okay? But all right, so I'll see you back next week, Mr. Hughes. All right, who do we have next?
Position 8, Dodds. McLean.
Hi, Dave.
Oh.
And what are we gonna do with Mr. Dodds?
It's a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Dodds. I am Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, put your hand down. Thank you. Mr. Abdullah, is this your case?
This
No,
is my
this is
case, Your Honor.
Okay, normally how I know is that whoever's gonna present, everybody else will mute. You can stay on camera, but if you'll mute, then I'll know that the next person up will be that solicitor. So I can get it right in the future, okay? All right, go ahead, Ms. Dillingham.
Yes, Your Honor. So the state is recommending 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. So balance has been suspended as the time was sufficient.
All right, Mr. Dodds?
Yes, Judge, that's our understanding. I had an opportunity to speak with my client yesterday, and we accept that offer and we stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Dodds, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008155A, you wish to plead guilty to willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Very much so, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Dodds. Good luck to you, sir. Happy holidays.
You too, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Yes. Let's see, Mr. Douglas. I've been informed that on the last gentleman that he's supposed to be was supposed to go onto the competency calendar and not today's SAP calendar. So he's going to be placed on the next competency calendar. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Who do we have next?
Position 6, Burton.
Well, good morning again, Your Honor. Mr. Burton is not recalling the item that he was accused in the theft by taking count on November the 12th. And because of that, we would not be ready to go forward on resolving the case. I would just need to ask the court to consider a signature bond for him. He may have a record, but he does sometimes reliably stay at a shelter. And so I discussed with him the weather situation, the nature of the crime, and the overall situation. And if it's not possible for us to truly resolve this case, we would ask the court to consider allowing him out of jail. He would be staying at, is it Gateway you always stay at? He's a reliable for understanding the procedures of getting into Gateway. I asked him, are you sure? Because I sure don't want you out there in 14-degree weather in a couple of nights from now, because it's going to get cold for 3 nights in a row really badly. And he is sure that he is not going to be in danger.
Okay, so let me just start at the top then. Mr. Burton, it's my understanding, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Mr. McLean, do you want him to be arraigned or do you want to file a formal waiver of arraignment?
I believe we have a form. I'll ask my colleague if it's handy. We'll file a waiver.
Okay. I have down that I gave him this bond of a $500 good bond per charge on December 5th. Let's see, Ms. Harrison, do we have a history?
Yes, Judge, 91 cycles. Last arrest was February this year for theft by shoplifting. So his arrest consists of theft by taking and criminal trespass. The theft by shoplifting, he has about 11 of those, ranging from 2011 to 2018. Disorderly conduct has 3 of them, 2018, and criminal trespass, 15 of those.
Really need to apply some resources to him, frankly. And I asked him, how is it that you eat? How do you survive? And he says, the shelter is fine food for him.
Are you speaking to the court, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. I was saying, he's having a hard time making it in life right now. And I asked him, how do you really eat? I mean, how do you survive out there? And the shelters do provide food for him. He said he does not have an income.
Ms. Dillingham, what are the facts? Maybe we can enlighten Mr. Burton as to the issues.
Your Honor, the facts in this case, this occurred on November 12th of 2022. Officers responded to 155 North Avenue Northwest. The victim in this case, Rachel Wallemeyer, was working at this football stadium when she left her bag unattended. The defendant took her bag and took items out of it and was seen on camera leaving the premises with the bag. The victim stated that he took about $90 worth of items, including the bag.
So is that Bobby Dodd Stadium? Is that the corner of North Avenue and Techwood?
Yes.
Okay. I used to be in the marching band there when in college.
So this is what I'm going to do, Mr. McLean. He needs some social worker services, obviously.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave the bond where it is right now because of his extensive history. And because I think he needs some help with housing. if you have a social worker visit with him and get him some help with housing, or maybe explain to him by next Tuesday, if he comes to an understanding that he remembers this incident, and then we can move forward. If he doesn't, if you get him some housing, then I'll reconsider the bond modification. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
1227, Judge.
Yes. 1227 reset.
1 week.
All right.
We'll talk further.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so they will need to send me home.
We're gonna have somebody visit you, who's a social worker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so when will I leave?
I don't know yet.
If they let me know.
I'll let you know.
Okay. All right.
Good to meet you.
Okay, right here.
Position 7, Cameron.
And this is going to be a negotiated plea?
That's going to be a,
Oh, no.
you need some more time to think about this? Okay. You feel you understand all the numbers, the math, the mathematics, okay?
So what are we going to do, Mr. McLean?
I'm sorry, just a moment here.
Okay.
We can't give you a legal guarantee. That's just the way we've seen it work for decades, decades and decades. That's how it does. So I feel confident that I can't give you a legal guarantee. It shouldn't go. There will be enough, then I'm paying up the whole night. I don't think he will. Your Honor, I think he's ready to proceed on both. Do you wish to do a negotiated plea on both? Is that my understanding? Yeah. Okay, you understand the days and the math involved. Yeah. Your Honor, as I understand things, the state is now going to be offering a 90 days to serve on one case with 15 days credit, and 90 days on the other with 3 days credit. One, when we have the non-guaranteed, typically experienced good behavior credit, one would give him 30 days extra to go, and the other one would give him 42 days extra to go. And of course, this is not something I told him, you do not feel pressured to make this decision now, because if that's the offer, you can make this decision later on.
Right. Why don't we do, I prefer, Mr. McLean, since it's not a time served offer, if you continue to speak with him, and I'll put him on the calendar for next week.
That makes sense to me too. Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So we'll see him back on the 27th, so that we can get, and we don't even have that one charge on the calendar, so we can get it all together.
Right, you are.
Ms. Grace, what were you saying?
I got it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
We'll just talk some more.
Okay. Do we have anyone else in courtroom 2?
Yes, Judge, we have position number 16, Jordan. That's Mrs. Challenger's case.
All right. Have we heard anything from Ms. Challenger? Ms. Champion?
No, sir, not at this time. I know she had court in 2 different courts this morning, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be a reset.
And
Okay.
Your Honor, I don't believe the defendant is being held on this charge either, so.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Walker. So let's reset her case until next Tuesday also, which will be the 27th.
That was position.
That's 16. And what about
Also, Judge, position 11 is going to be a reset. Mr. Hines.
okay. And that's being reset for what reason?
The jail was not able to find its location.
Judge, this charge is not holding him. So we're fine.
All right. Okay. So we'll set Mr. Hines for 12/27 also. What about position 10, Mr. Edwards?
He's a mental health, medical reset.
Okay, medical reset. I guess the 12/27 also. Has Mr. Butterfield had the opportunity to speak with his client, position 15?
No, not yet. We were waiting on the,
His attorney is supposed to be, hey, who's that? Is there, do you guys have a phone on 5 North? Because his attorney still needs to talk to him. For Mr., what was his name? For Mr. Terrence Johnson. Is that him in front of the screen on 5 North? Okay, his attorney needs to speak with him. Duffy, do you guys have a phone? Or maybe do a breakout?
yes, we can do a breakout.
I don't see Mr. Butterfield on the line though. Ms. Champion, has Mr. Butterfield fallen off the line?
No, he's still logged on, but I don't know if he's currently.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Can we send him a message, text message? Oh,
Yes, I message him in the chat.
okay. Thank you. And who do we have at the South Annex?
Morning, Your Honor. This is ACDC/South Annex. And before you is Ms. Linkus.
Do we know what position?
I left my paper way down yonder.
Did you say,
Linkus.
Oh, Linkus, that's me. That's mine, Judge.
Position
Ms. Linkus is position
okay, 19. I see.
19, Judge.
All right, and what are we doing? This is a negotiated plea.
It is, Judge, and we're just asking this court, because she agreed to all the conditions, Judge. We're just asking this court for it to be time served. I believe she served 115 days. I just wanted to make sure that it is still time served with the conditions.
Okay. Let me speak with her first. Ms. Linkus, good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you raise your right hand for me? You swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Mr. Abdullah, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you can proceed.
Yeah, so it is credit for time served. We're asking for 12 months, credit for time served, 115 days, balance probated with the condition that she does 40 hours community service. She does a alcohol and drug evaluation, no driving, $1,000 license suspension fine, $500 for the open container, and the probation can be suspended upon the completion of the conditions as well as proof for job.
And Judge, that is our understanding of that plea. We do accept that plea. Until it's suspended, it's probated, Judge. So we are asking for those probation fees to be waived. She has lost all of her employment due to incarceration, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Linkus, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 008255F, you wish to plead guilty to driving while license suspended or revoked and possession of an open alcohol container. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Ms. Linkus. I am going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation.
Thank
And
you.
when you complete the terms of the probation, it will terminate. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Say it again.
Can you tell me the conditions for Mr. Lucas? Okay.
Ms. Grace is asking Mr. Abdullah for the conditions again. I want to make sure that she has some rights. So can you go through those, please?
It was 40 hours of community service, the ADET, alcohol and drug evaluation, VIP, no driving, No driving, of course, until she gets her license reinstated, $1,000 fine for the license suspension, a $500 fine for the open container, and the probation can be suspended upon completion and proof of a job or employment.
What was the, after service of how many days in credit for time served?
115 days I have.
Okay. Did you get it all?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Linkers. Happy
Thank
holiday.
you. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we have Ms. Wilson. I was told she has a private attorney.
And Judge, I actually went out and spoke to Miss Wilson at the detention center, got her information. Her brother and her mother have retained a private attorney of Mr. It looks like Stephen Cowan. I've included his phone number. I spoke to that brother. He stated that they had retained Mr. Cowan for all of her cases. I tried to reach out to Mr. Cowan. There was no answer. So I do still have information that he's being represented by private counsel.
And I did check Odyssey, Your Honor, and there is not an entry filed on this case. I have not checked her felony case, however.
So the recommendation is 12 months to serve 365 days. How many days has she served?
On this case, she received a signature bond, so.
All right, so.
But that bond was surrendered, but in addition, she's being held on an act assault with no bond.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we work this out in the next week? Try to find if she is represented. If she's not represented, then Ms. Helen. And Ms. Helen, would you help the court and follow up on that for us if she's not
Sure.
represented? If you can take her on, and we'll go forward for next week. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
What position is that?
That's position 27. All right, Ms. Wilson, given that we're having some issues with the attorney situation, I'm going to reset you until next week, okay? I'll see you back next Tuesday.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Officer Milton.
You're welcome.
Okay, did we get Mr. Butterfield into a breakout room?
Yes, sir. He's in the breakout room with the client now.
Okay, very good. And let's see, do we have anyone else? Have we taken care of everyone?
I believe so, Judge.
All right, so while they're in the breakout room, why don't we go ahead and go through the calendar when Ms. Grace is ready. If you all will make sure to get all your paperwork to her as soon as possible so that she can get it to me this afternoon.
Position number 16, Judge.
Reset until 12/27. And all the medical reset will do until 12/27.
Okay, I'm ready. Position number 1 was a plea. Position number 2 was a plea. Position number 3 was a plea. Position number 4 was a plea. Position number 5 was reset further notice. The defendant was released. Position number 6 and 7 reset 12/27 SAP. Position number 8 and 9 were pleas. Position number 10 and 11 reset 12/27. Position 12 was a plea. Position 13 reset competency calendar. Position 14 reset further notice. We're holding on position 15. Position 16 and 17 and 18 reset 12/27. Position 19 and 20 were pleas. Position 21 and 22 were pleas. Position 23 was a plea. Position 24 reset jail jury. Position 25 and 26 were pleas. Position 27 reset 12/27 SAP.
Okay, any questions or concerns?
No, Judge.
All right, since we only have one one left. I guess, we'll hold for his announcement. Ms. Helen, Mr. Doze, Mr. McLean, I guess you all could be dismissed to start getting your paperwork ready for the court.
Thank you so much. I'm emailing Grace right now, and I'll call her when I leave the jail just to verify that she's received it.
Okay, thank you. Happy holidays to you all. Okay, for everyone else, we'll be in recess until council returns. Yes, Mr. Butterfield.
Hey, Judge, good morning, Your Honor. I
Good
just
morning.
spoke with Mr. Johnson. He is rejecting the state's plea offer and wants to move forward towards trial in this matter.
Okay, are you gonna file a written waiver of arraignment?
Yes, Judge, we'll do a written waiver of arraignment in this matter.
Okay, very good. So once we get that, when we will, he'll get notification of his next hearing date. The case will be
Right.
returned to the division.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. That concludes my business for today. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Do the same. All right, you also, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that completes our calendar today. Happy holidays, everyone. You all be safe out there.
Thank you, you too, Your Honor.
Thank you.